All right. So let's say I had to do this weight loss, fat loss goal all over. Knowing what I know now, the first thing I would do, the very first thing I would do is find out how much I'm eating. Fuck the gym at this point. Don't even worry about the gym. How much am I eating? Because at some point, this is going to become a math equation. If you know how to add and you know how to subtract, congratulations, you are qualified to lose weight. You are qualified to burn fat. If you figure out the numbers and you add and subtract every single day, you will no doubt, with the doubt, lose body fat, pounds on the scale. I say not to focus on the scale, but sometimes the scale can be actually motivating and to help you continue this journey, because this is not an easy journey. If it was so easy, then everybody would be in shape. Nobody would be in the gym because everybody would be in shape. But it actually takes you to stay consistent if you want to maintain, let's say, your whatever when you achieve your goal, you have to be consistent with what it took for you to get there, or else you lose it. If you don't use it, you lose it. So the first thing I would do is find out how much am I eating. And the way to do that is to get you an app that tracks your food. If you cannot track it, you shouldn't be eating it. If you cannot track it, you shouldn't be eating it. Now, let's say you can't track it, right? But you want to eat it because we're human. We're going to do what we want to do. And this goal is not a straight line. Let's say you want to eat something, but you can't track it. So you're just going to go on the app and find something. You're just going to guesstimate. So let's say you ate some beef jerky, but you can't find the exact beef jerky. You're going to just go on your app, your food tracking app, put in beef jerky, and then put in what you thought you ate. Now that's not precise, but at least you're tracking something in the place of that food you ate. And you're just going to go off from there. Once I find out how much I'm eating, I need to know my BMR. What is my BMR? My body mass, basic metabolic rate. My basic metabolic rate. So how much energy does my body use on its own without me even getting up, without me even working out? What is that number? So a good way to go and find out that number is to just look it up. Google it. What is my BMR? You're going to put in how much you weigh. You're going to put in basically how physical you are, how much activity you get in a day. Most people put moderate, don't put high, because you know damn well you're not getting a lot of activity. Okay. So figure out your BMR. You can also get the BMR off a scale. If you have one of those scales that gives you a lot of data. I'm not sure which one I use right now, but I know the app that I use with the scale is called VSync, and it gives me a lot of data. It gives me my body percent, my weight, and also it gives me some type of BMR, something I can go off of. Now, I will tell you this. The lower and lower your body gets, the more and more pounds you lose, the lower your BMR is going to be. So let's say you're 200 pounds and your BMR is 2,000 calories, meaning just existing, you're going to burn 2,000 calories off your body just for existing. You need to know that number. BMR, you need to know BMR, basic metabolic rate. Next, you need to know how much you ate. Let's say you ate 3,000 calories. Let's say you eat 3,000 calories. Then you need to know how much you burned. And the app that I use is called Lifesum. That app allows you to see what you burned for that day. And I also use a Steps app that also tells you how many calories you burn. I usually go with the one that gives me the most calorie burn. It doesn't matter what method you use, as long as you are consistent on or at what you're doing, okay? First, I will find out how much I'm eating. Next, I need to know my basic metabolic rate, which is my BMR. And third, I would need to know how much activity am I getting, okay? How much did I burn? And you're basically You're just gonna do a math equation, okay? You're gonna go BMR, you're gonna write that down. You're gonna go how much you ate, and then you're gonna do how much you burn. You're just gonna subtract the numbers. And whatever you get, whatever number you get, at the end of the day, you were either in a surplus or you were in a deficit. You were either in a surplus or you were either in a deficit. It takes 3,500 calories of a deficit to burn 1 pound of fat, okay? 1 pound of fat. So I'm gonna write 3,500, and I'm gonna show you this on pen and paper. You're gonna write 3,500 at the top of that page, and this is starting off your week, okay? Let's say it's Monday, and you're starting off the week. You're gonna write 3,500 right there. And then you're gonna write under it, BMR, how much did you eat, and how much did you burn for that day? And you're gonna do the calculations at the end of the day when it's a new day. Let's say you stay awake to 11:59. Once it turns 12 o'clock a.m. in the morning, you're going to do your calculations and find out if you were in a burn state or were you in a surplus state, okay? So if you was in a surplus, you're going to be adding to the 3,500. You're gonna be adding to that 3,500. So let's say you were in a calorie deficit or a calorie surplus of 100. You're going to add 100 to that 3,500 number. And now you're gonna need 3,600 calories to burn 1 pound of fat instead of 3,500. Let's say you were in a deficit by 200, okay? So you're gonna subtract, at the end of the day, you're gonna subtract that 200 number from 3,500, and it's gonna give you 3,300 left for that week, or just until you lose that 1 pound, and then you start the second pound. We're talking about body fat here. We're not talking about overall weight, okay? We're talking about body fat. So those are the 3 numbers you need to know. BMR, you need to know how much you're eating, and you need to know how much you burn, okay? And those are gonna get you to where you need to be. At the point, fuck the gym, okay? We're not even thinking about the gym. You're gonna get in shape by how much you eat and how much you don't eat. And we already know from the last video, you're gonna prioritize your protein. That is a must. Prioritize protein. Fats, you wanna keep them moderate. I'm not gonna say keep them low, but you wanna keep them moderate. And with carbs, you can play around with carbs, okay? You don't wanna deplete yourself. You don't want to not eat, okay? That's not good either. You actually, when you start to lose body fat and you start to come down in weight, you're gonna notice after you eat a meal, your body is actually going to look better. Once you lose body fat and you deplete yourself and you start to shrink, your body is going to look better after you eat, which is strange, right? Which is weird, right? It took me a minute to learn all of these things because I've tried everything that's out there. But trust me, pick a plan, pick a method, and stick to it for an extended amount of time and be consistent. I didn't say be perfect. I said be consistent, meaning if you fall off one day, just pick up right where you left off and continue the process. Just continue the process. For an example, 3,500 calories to drop 1 pound of fat. Let's say one day you were 200 in a deficit. So that left you 33. And then the next day you were at a 200 calorie deficit. So that left you 31. But then the next day you end up being in a surplus by 200. So that brought you back up to 3,300. Okay. So you just have to, don't give up or start over, because starting over is probably the hardest thing to do. Just go off where you left at. Okay. Don't try to not have as many off days as you do on days. Try to have more on days than you do off days. And that is what's going to get you there. These videos I'm going to keep pumping out because I want you guys to know the truth, okay? You don't need no special supplements. You don't need to do no special exercise. You just need to know the numbers. You need to know the numbers, okay? If you know the numbers, it's impossible for you to fail when it comes to losing weight, losing body fat. All right, see you in the next one.